Walker raved about what he calls a dry mist that can kill COVID in an interview in 2020.
Do you know right now I have something that can bring you into a building that will clean you from COVID as you walk through this dry mist. As you walk through the door, it will kill any COVID on your body. EPA, FDA approved. When you leave, it will kill the virus as you leave this here product. Do you know they don't want to talk about it?
Now, as you can see, I got my Yankee gear on, rocking Aaron Judge. Of course, he hit his historic 60-second home run. But I just wanted to throw that in there since you can see I'm wearing the NY. Since I'm wearing the NY. But that's for another time. But talking about Herschel, he said there's a mist that kills the COVID virus. But what he failed to mention, the name of this so-called mist. And I don't know, did he say, he kind of said it real quick because he said he's not that smart, but did he say FDA or did he say FA? I couldn't get that.
A head scratcher from Georgia's Republican Senate nominee, Herschel Walker. Walker downplaying expectations ahead of his debate with Senator Raphael Warnock telling reporters, "I'm not that smart."
Republican Herschel Walker declaring that there are 52 states in America.
He's written and has given interviews about playing Russian roulette with a gun.
Georgia Senate candidate Herschel Walker is making headlines after his comments about evolution.
Now think about this, because at one time, science said man came from apes. Did it not? If that is true, why are there still apes?
Okay. Again, remember, he said he's not that smart. So he's really proving our point, or his point. He said there's 52 states. It's 50 states. So where did the other 2 states come from? I'm just saying. And also, he mentions that scientists say that we came from apes, and then he says, if that is still true, why are there still apes? I'll wait. He said, why are there still apes? Are you kidding me? This is the guy, this is the man that the Republican Party wants to push to get a hold on a congressional seat. This is the man. Wow. Hollywood couldn't make this up. Hollywood could not make this up. But here's more.
And during his campaign, Walker has lied repeatedly. He falsely claimed to have graduated in a top percentile from the University of Georgia. He exaggerated claims about the success of his businesses.
Georgia Senate candidate Herschel Walker misstated his income on federal documents by more than $3 million. Walker has reportedly overstated his role with the for-profit group, accused of taking advantage of military veterans.
In a 2017 speech, Walker said this: "I work with the Cobb County Police Department, and I have been in criminal justice all my life." Then 2 years later, while giving a speech to soldiers, he said, "I spent time at Quantico at the FBI training school. Y'all didn't know I was an agent?" They didn't know because he wasn't. And according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the Cobb County Police Department said they had no record of any involvement with Walker.
Okay. He lied about his income. And he's been linked to a group that has taken advantage of military veterans. Okay? Keep that in mind. And he said he has worked in the criminal justice system all of his life. Okay. Then he said he was an FBI agent. Again, those 2 situations are lies. And that's the running theme here. That is the running thing, that he lies a lot. And that's something I didn't know of his character until recently. That's a running thing, and I've heard that he's good friends with former President Trump, who likes to stretch numbers, so to speak. He likes to inflate his ego. He likes to put himself off as bigger than, which in essence is lying. But again, this is the running thing here. Keep that in mind. He likes to lie.
Years, he has repeatedly criticized black men who leave their children. But tonight, Georgia's Republican nominee for U.S. Senate, Herschel Walker, is admitting that he has a 10-year-old son who he didn't raise. Court documents show that the boy's mother had to sue him for paternity and child support.
Just a day after news broke that Walker had a secret 10-year-old son, the Daily Beast discovered that Walker actually has 2 more additional children he has never publicly acknowledged.
There's a new twist in the pivotal Senate race in Georgia. The website The Daily Beast is reporting Republican candidate Herschel Walker paid for a woman he was dating to get an abortion in 2009.
Georgia Republican Senate candidate Herschel Walker says he is pro-life and supports a nationwide abortion ban with no exceptions. But new reporting from The Daily Beast claims he encouraged a woman he was dating in 2009 to get an abortion and help pay for it. The woman, whose identity was not published, provided the Daily Beast with a receipt for the procedure, a get well card, and an image of a $700 check allegedly signed by Walker.
All right. So he sued for child support. He has children that he didn't recognize or tried not to recognize. But yet, he rails against black men who don't support their children. And I can see that. But if you're going to make that assessment to rail against, then you need to have your ducks in a row. You cannot go out and basically do the same thing. So he's gotten sued for child support, not wanting to take care of your kids, not wanting to acknowledge who your children are, and then pay for a woman to have an abortion. That goes against your so-called principles of being against abortion. And I always say, now, if you're going to go into politics, you need to have your house in order, because the covers are going to come off, you're going to be exposed. And my thing is, if it would have been best for him to stay in the realm of football. Stay in the realm of football. But, hey, if certain other people can do it, why not you, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if he won this upcoming election with Raphael Warnock. It boggles the mind. Whereas you can be exposed like this, you can, all your flaws are out there, and everybody has flaws. Don't get me wrong on that. Everybody has flaws. But the key is to acknowledge those flaws. And you've gotten to a certain point where you've worked those flaws out. You've gotten rid of those certain demons. You know what I'm saying? And you've moved on. But if you're still in the midst of those flaws, then you really should stay in the background until you overcome those things. That's what I'm saying.
Walker's son, Christian, who is known as a conservative influencer, posted this video on Twitter after his dad denied the abortion allegations. I want you to take a look.
He has 4 kids, 4 different women, wasn't in the house raising one of them. He was out having sex with other women. Do you care about family values? I decided lie after lie after lie why? The abortion card drops yesterday. It's literally his handwriting in the card. They say they have receipts, whatever. He gets on Twitter. He lies about it.
That's pretty powerful stuff. When you have a son who is also a conservative, and that son calls you out big time, telling everybody that you're a liar. Now, obviously, you and your son have issues, but upon hearing the other situations going on with you, I'm not surprised. Because you try to deny the children that you have, not paying child support, and sounds like he was a part of the situation in you not wanting to pay, and you had to be forced into it. Old man of God who wants to rail against others, but your backyard is looking pretty messy. And again, I will emphasize this. We all have our faults, but in order to move into something else, we first need to clean up first before going forward. How hypocritical is it of us if say I can't stand smoking. I tell you, what a bad, disgusting habit it is, but then behind the scenes, behind closed doors, I'm smoking like a chimney. Same effect. So, for your own son to come out and say you are a low-down liar, that says a lot. And that is pretty pathetic. Enough said.